Now I know we are just getting started here in the basic kitchen, but this by far is the easiest thing we have made to date. And today, we are going to start with that perfect vanilla base, and from there, create 3 other batches of ice cream, elevating it each step of the way. All we need is heavy whipping cream, milk, granulated sugar, salt, and vanilla extract. And we will be using the stand mixer with the ice cream attachment. So, let's dive into this basic kitchen where Evan has pulled together the basic ingredients.
Super easy to make, especially with my favorite kitchen toy, the KitchenAid. We'll be mixing up a few varieties today, and to start, we'll use our basic vanilla recipe. So, we'll get measuring. 1 cup milk going into our chilled bowl, 2 cups heavy cream, 3/4 cups of sugar, tablespoon of vanilla, and a healthy pinch of sea salt, about a half teaspoon. We're gonna mix this gently for about 3 minutes to get the sugar, vanilla, salt all combined. You don't wanna go too crazy, and you definitely don't wanna do this in a blender with the heavy cream. I'm not trying to make cheese. All right, so this thoroughly combined. Can't feel any of the sugar granules in there. Gonna pop it in the fridge for a few minutes, and then get our mixing stand set up. So we got the KitchenAid ice cream making attachment. Throw this guy on there. Get our bowl out of the freezer. Work quickly so this thing doesn't warm up. Yeah, so this paddle here goes in. Got a ratchet. Let you know when your ice cream's good and done. Pop that in there. Everything is ready to go. Spatula nearby, ready to start mixing. So, really important step, often overlooked. We need this thing turning before the ice cream goes in. So, pop it up. Get it on stir. We'll pour our mixture in. Make sure to get every last little drop. If you come look in here, this recipe is a little smaller than the full 2 quarts, but it's quite low right now, and you'll see that volume increase. So this will take about 25, maybe 30 minutes. So this ratchet in here acts so you don't break the thing. When the ice cream gets real thick, it'll actually act as a timer. So it'll start clicking to let you know that it's fully thickened enough. But once you get enough experience, you can kind of go by eye of how thick it is. It's not gonna be full ice cream thick. It's gonna be nearly there, and then we'll get it in the fridge for at least 4 hours, preferably overnight. So we're using loaf pans since we're making a handful of recipes. Really easy to scoop from, really easy to stack in the freezer. Just cover them up with some saran wrap, and that ice cream will keep in there for about a month. So we'll check back in another 20, 25 minutes and see how this is doing. Come check this out. I told you earlier, the volume is super low. You can see now it's almost filling it up, starting to come out of the top, thickening up, whipping in air, making that light, fluffy, delicious ice cream. Nearly done. Okay, mixer is clicking, so we're gonna turn this guy off, drop this down. So I love this mixer. Get it over here on the bench. So we got our loaf pan. This, it's like an 8x5. Should fit 2 quarts of ice cream pretty easily. Look at that. So right now it's almost like milkshake, not quite ice cream yet. Get it in the freezer, 4 hours minimum. Get as much out of there as possible, ready for the freezer. All right, now we're making peppermint chocolate chip ice cream, one of our favorites. This recipe is a little bit different, a little bit bigger. 2 cups heavy cream, 2 cups milk, teaspoon of vanilla extract. You only need a teaspoon of this peppermint extract here. This recipe is a full cup of sugar instead of the 3/4 found, and the vanilla, half teaspoon of salt, balance everything out. And then once we're mixing it all up, we'll add in some chocolate chips. Like before, just gently mix for about 3 minutes. So you can kind of feel with the whisk when all the sugars have dissolved in there. We're gonna get this in the fridge for at least 15, 20 minutes. You know, you can leave it in there for even longer, half a day, get it as cold as possible before we start churning. We're gonna get this on stir speed and moving before we pour our ingredients in, and then we're gonna wait about 10, 15 minutes before any of our chocolate chips go in, just to make sure the chips don't fall to the bottom. So it's been about 15 minutes. The ice cream's thickened up enough that we can start gradually adding in chocolate chips. It's been about 35 minutes, and this ice cream is about as churned as it's gonna get. Next up, we're making a strawberry cream ice cream. So we'll start with 1 cup whole milk in the blender, 3/4 pounds of frozen strawberries, cup of sugar, do just a pinch of salt, about a half teaspoon. We're gonna do a full tablespoon of vanilla. If you want a little more strawberry forward, you can cut that back to a couple teaspoons. We're gonna go with a lot of vanilla flavor on this one. Next, we're gonna measure out 2 cups heavy cream and just gently incorporate these for a minute or 2. We'll get this in the fridge to rest for at least a half hour, and then we'll start churning our ice cream. All right, so the strawberry ice cream is done a little quicker than expected, just under 20 minutes, probably about 18, 19. So we're gonna get it out, get it in our pan, and get it frozen. This stuff really got thick because all that strawberry pulp in there. Now we'll get this covered up in the freezer for 4 to 6 hours. So far we've churned up batches of vanilla, mint chocolate chip, and strawberry ice cream. Classics. Obviously, chocolate is next, but the guy standing right over there behind the camera has a bit of a coffee addiction. So we're gonna do some espresso with a bit of a mocha twist for some dark chocolate in there to balance things out. So to give it the coffee kick, we're gonna use some espresso powder, which is really finely ground, dehydrated espresso, basically instant coffee with a bit of a kick. 1/4 cup of this, 2 cups whole milk. We'll start by getting both those blended up together before we add anything else. Already looking like an espresso. So we're gonna add 1 1/4 cup of sugar, a little more than our other recipes, just balances out the bitterness of the espresso. Like before, pinch of salt, about a half teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. All right, that's partially combined. Now we can add the cream, just like all the other recipes, 2 cups heavy cream. Just stir this for another minute or 2 until everything's combined. All right, now that that's all finished up, we'll get this in the fridge for probably a half hour. Ideally, you want it in there for 2 hours at least, and we'll get churning. Got some really high grade dark chocolate. We're gonna get this kind of cut fine so it makes little shreds. We've had this in the freezer, so it should sort of do that. 65% cocoa, so not super crazy baking chocolate or anything. You still want something with some sweetness. Now we're looking good. It's 100% frosty, 25 minutes in. Get it in the freezer for another 4 to 6 hours, probably overnight.
So there you have it, 4 flavors of ice cream. And it all starts with that vanilla base. And from there, just incorporate your favorite flavors and special ingredients. But sometimes a basic vanilla with some fresh strawberries covered in hot chocolate sauce is all you need. Or how about a caramel overload? This peppermint chocolate chip just stands alone. No toppings required. I'm pretty sure peppermint ice cream is what the North Pole tastes like during summer. This is what the elves eat for breakfast. You can't go wrong. And this strawberry infused batch was very rich. Definitely lent itself to that classic combo of chocolate covered strawberries. And to my personal favorite, this espresso dark chocolate was bold. I found the best combo was a scoop of that vanilla with this coffee infused batch of ice cream. It's like adding a splash of cream to your cup of coffee. And if you like mocha, how about some hot chocolate sauce? And ice cream pairs really well with other desserts such as pie. Here's a link in the top right corner. I really do encourage you to try this one. You can make ahead of time. Impress your friends, family. Be sure to have an assortment of toppings on standby to allow your guests to be creative and build their own personal dessert. It's a crowd pleaser, everyone loves it, and it's just so simple to make. There's no reason not to. Unless, of course, you're lactose intolerant. So then, why are you watching a 10-minute tutorial on how to make ice cream?